Welcome to Conversations with Toy, a blogcast tackling life one episode at a time. This is the time to air out life's craziest moments. This space is all about speaking about life's hang-ups and ways in which we can leave better than when we started. Topics are all about ways we can find space to be better in life, love, mental space, and health.
Happy Friday. I know you're wondering, why am I doing another episode when the season is over? But if you've been on this journey with me, you know that I try to do at least one bonus episode per season, giving you a little bit of extra for the season. So if this is your first time tuning in to Conversations with Toy, welcome. I hope that you get comfortable, find something of value. We try to talk about it all, from mental health and wellness, self-care, even some things that hit these internet streets. I want you to just be prepared to just have a whole interesting listen and conversation, because again, we like to talk about things that we hope are helpful. We hope are building you up. We hope are making you think, or at least making you not, realize you're not alone. So we ended season 6 and we are going into the journey of season 7, and I've already been interviewing, talking to different people. We got lots of conversations coming up, and I honestly cannot wait for you to hear them. If you've been wondering about how to take care of yourself with wellness and different aspects of what is wellness, some people consider wellness to just be a food component. Some people think that wellness is a full body, which I tend to think, to me, wellness is a full body experience of thinking about your mind, body, and your soul, and finding ways to be better at all of those different areas. Because reality of it is that there's so many times where we miss the mark. We start off doing one thing, we ended up doing something else. One day you may eat, a full day's worth of food, and you've done well with your eating, but you didn't do well with your sleeping. Another day you may get, the 8 hours or so amount of hours of sleep, but you didn't eat right. So it just depends, and it's multifaceted, and there's all different options that you can do when it comes to your personal wellness. When I say personal wellness, this means just you. This means that sometimes we always want to see what other people are doing, and it's nothing wrong with adding some flavor from other people that, you aspire, you admire, you respect. But always remember that any regimen that you do, it's always going to be best if you cater it and tailor it to yourself, meaning it needs to fit you and your lifestyle. And if you can do that, you have a better chance of making it, become a permanent part of your life. When you try to duplicate what someone else is doing and you're not really sincere about it, and you don't tailor it, to your needs, to your lifestyle, oftentimes you find yourself failing in it. And then you get the whole, I can't get anything done, I never complete things, I'm so mad at myself, I can't believe I failed. And then that starts this whole drama fest of, feeling guilty. And so when you think about wellness, I want you to think about it in ways that are attainable. Some things are going to require you to step up, right? So you can't tailor everything to the point where you're so comfortable that it just makes sense. Sometimes it may have to require you to step up. You may have to be more conscious of the things that you're putting in your body. You may be more conscious of the people that you're hanging around. You may have to be more conscious of the time that you're spending, because if you don't think time management goes along with wellness, that is an absolute lie. In order for you to complete any of these goals, you're going to need to be aware of your time. And sometimes that also means aware of the people that you're spending time with. Listen, I'm all for hanging out. I'm all for doing all the things. But if it impedes or stops me in my growth, then I want to stop it, right? And so some of this is going to require you to change your mind, change the way that you think about the things that you're doing. One of the things when you get healthier about food is that you learn to have a better relationship with your actual food. So you see food as a means of getting energy and helping you do the things that you need to do, instead of, developing these unhealthy relationships and these unhealthy eating habits. Again, everyone focuses on food when it talks about wellness. They tend to want to lose weight. They want to drop these calories. They want to do all these different things. First, I'm going to say, speak to your nutritionist or your doctor before you start any new regimen when it comes to food. You really should, in my opinion, in my opinion, you really should just go get a whole metabolic look at your whole blood system and see what's going on, so you can see what's going on with your body. Know where your numbers are, see where you're deficient in, and that's where you want to attack your plan from there. I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to go to doctors. I'm perfectly healthy. You can be healthy and go see your doctor. It's called a checkup. Let's go ahead and get that. Especially if you're older, if you're starting to get a little older, you need to know what's going on, and you need to be able to combat that with a better system. So now that we've talked about wellness and all those great things, we will be talking a lot more in depth about different ways that we can improve our wellness, because you know how it is in the summertime. Everybody's been vacationing. You've been eating all the things. You've been just, traveling. You've been doing your thing. And so now usually what happens is in the fall, people start to get more focused because they want to end the year right. Or they get more focused until the eating holidays comes. And that's usually about good Halloween. And so you got a good month and a half, according to normal people. Not when I say normal people, I mean just the way people move and work. I'm not suggesting that that's the way you should work. You should be able to be in a situation where you take care of yourself no matter what, holidays come, no matter if the candy's coming for Halloween. Doesn't matter if Thanksgiving is coming around the corner and you're like, oh, I got to eat and indulge. Certain things should not matter. However, the way people normally work is that they will get focused right now, from now until, again, right before October, before the candy season hits. Then the candy season may not be a huge make it or break it, so then they're good, and so they go and they try to do what they can until November. And then when November hits, it's pretty much downhill from there, because you go into the Christmas, holiday, Thanksgiving season, and so food is going to be everything. Every time you turn around, there's going to be a food offering, between parties at your job, or get together with family and friends, or just the simple holiday itself. Can become overwhelming. Again, I would hope that you are getting to the point where you're not staying focused just for small seasons, that you're staying focused for your life. And so when you're doing that for your life and you're trying to stay focused on all those things, you can have candy. Yes, you can have an amazing Thanksgiving. You can have the treats and stuff for Christmas, but you're also more cognizant, you're aware. And so you don't just move in the way that you used to. You move in a way that honors you and honors your body. So let's move away from wellness and let's talk about the topic that I would like to bring up for this bonus episode. So I'm going to share a story that happened just this week about anxiety and the way that it works for me. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, one, you don't think you have anxiety, and that's great. Listen, I don't expect for people to be like raising their hand like, they're about to win a prize. Like, oh yeah, me and anxiety, we go together, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that anxiety, if you have it, just flares at different times, almost like when you have a stomach issue and you have a stomach, whatever, it's a flare. So for me this week, this flare, I went to an event this week and the event was fine. When I first got into the event, the energy was just a little different. And then over time, things begin to mellow out. But my anxiety flared because, again, I have to say this. People just assume that because I'm blogging or, I'm influencing and I go to a lot of events. When I say a lot of events, I go to a lot of events. There are some times where I can go to an event 3 to 4 times within 1 week. There are times when I have no events. There are times when it's just one. In times past, my anxiety would only flare up if I was going to an environment where I had not been before and I didn't know anyone at this event. And so before, I would just know I would pretty much walk in the door with anxiety. And this week when I went to an event, I went into the event where it was a location that I had not been to, which is fine. That's, the purpose is to find and go to these different things that you have not experienced before, right? I'm always grateful to go and try new experiences. And so I went to a place that I had not been before, but I knew about a good 40% of the people there. So I was very surprised as to why my anxiety was going up. So I was trying to ask myself, what was going on? What were the vibes? What is happening? Why am I feeling that way? And so initially when I felt that way, I didn't really, I didn't give into it to where I couldn't, how you get frozen to the point where you can't interact with anybody. And so I was like, well, let's not do that. So let's just be aware. Let's just watch our surroundings. Let's just see what's happening. And if you would have asked me this a few years ago, I would have just assumed that it was just, okay, this is just a me thing. But I've learned to tune into when I feel that way, because sometimes it's a place of protection. meaning for me to not want to let my guard down, because again, even though I knew 40% of the people there was another 50 to 60 that I didn't. And of course, I met new people and introduced myself to new people. I have no problems with doing that. But the flare was weird. It was an experience I haven't had in a long time. But when I felt this feeling before, I recognized that it was just, again, something for me to be aware of my surroundings. And so I try my best to not get overwhelmed by the situation, to not allow myself to become overtaken by the situation, but just aware of the fact that there had to be a reason as to why I was feeling the way that I was feeling. It has not been yet revealed to me as to why I was feeling that way, but I did the best that I could with the situation by, again, introducing myself to new people that I had not met, trying to stay around the people that I did know, and just striking up conversation. Eventually, it was time for me to go, and I was on my way. When I left, immediately when I left, and when I say this, I don't even mean like, normally when I say this, I mean like when I got home, when I got in my car, when I walked out of the actual door of this facility, I felt normal again. So I just tend to think something about that location, something about where I was just didn't make sense. I can't figure it out. But I'm going to pray on it, because like I said, there was something that made me feel that way, a heaviness. There was something in that room. And when I left that place, when I left that room, then I was fine. Now, again, I've gone to several events this week, so I'm not going to reveal which event it was or where I was. But what I will say is, again, I felt completely better the second I walked out of that room. And that just lets me know something is amiss there. Something is not together. I have to check was it somebody that I was around, the people that I were talking to? I'm not sure. But what I will say is that my anxiety completely stopped the second I walked out of that room. And it didn't come on. Like I didn't feel that heaviness like when I go to some place and I'm feeling anxiety, as if I'm walking into the place and I'm feeling like anxious. I didn't feel anxious, because when I came, I saw people that I knew. It was only until I got into the room that I felt something. So I'm going to explore that, pray on it, and see what happens or what becomes of that. But anxiety is weird. Again, for me, it's almost like a flare. It comes, it goes in waves. It doesn't stay with me all the time. It presents itself in different variations for me, mostly the times when I'm in a new environment and I'm around people I don't know. That's why I find it weird that my anxiety, that it actually flared as much as it did, to the point where I could recognize that, hey, something is not okay. Something is not quite right. I'm not sure what's going on. But again, I always know that regardless of that, for me, anxiety can protect, because sometimes it can even protect me, or it can protect, what's happening around me. It definitely makes me more aware. It makes me aware of people, placing, moods, attitudes, things like that. And it really just made me feel like, first of all, everybody that was not everybody, but the large majority of the people that was there had very welcoming spirits. They were very smiling, hugging. And again, I know that doesn't matter. People can hug, smile, and do a whole bunch of acrobats and not mean anything. But the reality is that on initial surface, it wasn't anything that made me feel, or it didn't seem as anything was off. Anxiety is just a weird level. It's a weird feeling that you carry. And again, even when you've quote unquote mastered it, meaning you know what to do when you're in an anxiety moment, and what you do usually helps, it doesn't mean that anxiety goes away. It just means that when it does come, you should be better equipped to be able to handle it. And there are many a times when in the past, I would not. I would act out. I'd be reactive to it. And now I've gotten to the point where I just sit and I recognize it. I acknowledge, okay, this is where I'm feeling. This is where I'm at. Now, what can I do about that to move further? Because that is the goal, right? I don't want to be in an anxiety state to the point where it stunts my growth. And what do I mean by stunning my growth? If I have social anxiety and I go out to a place and it's unfamiliar to me, and now I'm in this position where I can't say hi to people, I can't interact with people, I can't do these different things, that to me eventually in time would then stunt my growth, because I'm so focused and so caught up in making sure that I am dealing with whatever it is that I'm dealing with. And I don't focus on having a good time. I'm not focused on, networking. I'm not focused on who's in the room. And then I'm becoming off-putting. Like, anxiety also makes you look like, makes me or you, when you have it, look like we're off, or something's not quite right, or we're not fully engaged. So this is why I try to do my best to, one, acknowledge it and check my anxiety, figure out why I'm having it, and then try to recover. Because again, when you're in a room and your anxiety is happening, people are going to think that, okay, you're, what's going on? Why is she acting like that? I can sense something is wrong. I don't know what it is. And so it's a two-way street. And there's plenty of times where I'm sure my first impressions with people have been like, oh my gosh, what's going on? She seems like, she's a nice girl or a nice woman, but, she just seems like she's just trying to think, or she's, not as responsive. And I get that. I get that. However, I do know that eventually over time, it does get better. I handle it a lot better. I'm able to recognize the situations that I'm in. And so if you're dealing with anxiety and it makes you look weird and it makes you feel a certain way, or you're feel like other people are treating you a certain way depending upon your anxiety flare, it's real. Everything that you're experiencing is real. Everything that you're seeing is real. The issue with it, the realness, is that you just have to find a better way to combat that, to deal with that. Find a safety place while you're in your place that you're at. Like if you're in a situation where you can't leave, and I don't mean like you're physically like being retained or anything, but what I mean by is you have to be at an event, you're having to be at a family function, like you have to be at a birthday party, you're at these different avenues by which anxiety will show itself and flare itself. Always, 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 where you're in the middle of doing something, you have somewhere you need to be, and you have something that you have to do, and then all of a sudden these abnormal feeling of anxiety. I've also noticed when I'm around other people who I know experience anxiety, they experience it so differently. So I have this one friend who literally like scream talks you. So what I mean by scream talks you is that she's talking, but she's literally hollering at you almost to deflect the fact that she's nervous about speaking. So this is usually happens when she is in a new environment around me. And so she scream talks, right? Literally will scream talk. And you're sitting there like, are you serious? But she is very much serious. She just scream talks. And again, everybody is just completely different and how they deal with it. You have the people who don't talk at all. So then you say hi, they may say hi back, but they don't really make good eye contact. They look off to space kind of situation, and they just don't look very confident in the fact that they're in a room. You have people like myself who can become confident in a room. However, there may be moments when they're just kind of like second guessing themselves. Anxiety comes in many forms. And so if you're dealing with that, you're not alone. And that's really the point of all this. The story of the event that I went to, I can't say that. I don't even know where that is. I really, when I say I'm going to explore it, I plan to deeply explore it. And how I'm going to explore it is I'm going to go back to that facility on my own. I'm going to go back to that place on my own and see if I feel the same set of vibes. Do I feel the same way? If I come back and I feel the same way, then I just know it's something in that particular building. And that's actually going to give me 5 seconds of relief, because again, there were so many people in that room. It's hard to know if it was a person that was making me feel that way. But if I run into that same person in a different event, or same sets of people, and I begin to see certain little things, like I feel like life will always reveal itself to me, and it'll eventually tell me what that was. And so if it's something with that person, then I'm gonna make sure that I kind of be like, hey, how you doing? And then kind of avoid that person altogether, because again, I don't like to be in places where I feel something is trying to warn me of something, and I don't like that. So today's podcast is sponsored by Athletic Greens. I personally use Athletic Greens because I don't like taking a bunch of supplements and vitamins. It's something about the pills that I just can't do every single day. And regardless of your lifestyle, whether you eat keto, vegan, dairy-free, whatever your lifestyle is, this will be for all. Also, we're all about saving money, and it only costs you less than $3 a day. Not to mention, Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews. So that means at least 7,000 other people, including myself, who have used it and know the benefits of it. In addition, right now it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. That's right, one scoop in a cup of your water that you drink every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. Athletic Greens is going to give you one free supply, 1 year supply of immune supporting vitamin D, and 5 free travel packs with your first pack purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/emerging. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/emerging to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutrition. All right. So, as we are in our last preps for school, our kids are going back to school on Monday, and reminded or reminiscent of the fact that we're about to step into fall. There's a few things that I feel like you need to start preparing. So, we prepare the kids to go back to school, and parents, listen, I'm with you. A hallelujah for going back to school. Oh my goodness. I'm excited for that. Let's also make sure that we take care of ourselves. And what do I mean by that? We set our vitamins out for our children. I started to get right back up on my vitamin regimen by making sure that I have what I need so that I can be better prepared for all the things. And so if you are struggling, have struggled, or continuing to struggle with vitamin intake, or taking certain supplements, this is why you need to have one of those metabolic testing done so that you can figure out what it is that you're lacking, so that you can figure out how to get it in a supplement or in your food, because food is actually probably the best source for your nutrients. And so outside of those two, you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And so what I have done is I have set myself up for success by making sure that I have the right nutrients and vitamins according to what my doctor says that I need. And how I've done that is there's a few ways. So you can get vitamins from anywhere, to be honest with you. But no plug, but Nourish from Nature Made. We know Nature Made, the Vitamin King, they're the Vitamin Kings, have made these packets where you take a test, and it, according to the test, it gives you the vitamins and supplements that you need. You can either take so many out or leave so many in. And it basically is a personalized packet that they make, which are in these little individual closed packets. And so now you don't have the issues of having like 17 bottles of medication all over your counters or in your stash. You just have this box. Every day you pull out a different packet and you're good to go. All I can say is just make sure you're eating when you're taking certain supplements. Make sure some are better absorbed when you have orange juice. Whatever you need, please do. I did not do that. And on Monday I had orange juice, but I didn't eat because I was in the middle of filming some food stuff. Amazingly, I ate some of it. And then my daughter loved it so much. It was a plant-based macaroni and cheese, and she loved it so much that she came and ate the rest of it, and I didn't go back to like eat some oatmeal or something. I got so incredibly sick. in the midst of the fact that I was already out filming again with my kids. So it just remained a situation that was not cool. I had to like really go change my clothes. It was a thing. So all I can say is that if you are starting to take new vitamins and minerals and supplements, make sure that you have something on your belly, as well as sometimes, again, orange juice can be one of those great things that can help with absorption of certain supplements. Figure that all out and make sure that you're prepared. But as we step into the fall, we go from the sunny weather and the tan lines to the sun to, colder weather. Oftentimes people find new activities that they want to complete. That could be in learning how to bake a cake. That could be in something that you just always wanted to do but didn't have the courage to do. Whatever it is that you're looking to do, go ahead and do that. Find a class. There's, different variations, whether online or in person, that you can do. Go ahead and step out and find a new hobby this fall. In addition to finding a new hobby, find a new workout. Yes, find a new workout or solidify the workout that you have been hitting hit or miss. I want you to go ahead and do that because, again, people will complain that they can't get out because they're not as active as they were in the summer because, you can ride a bike in the summer. You can do all these things. Listen, you can ride a bike in the fall. You can get out in the fall. It may be a little colder. We just layer up a little bit. You can still get out. But if you are one of those people who are just like me in the cold, don't get along, I understand. Then you need to find some indoor activities, some yogas, some new classes that you can take. Whatever it is that's going to keep you active and focused, I want you to go ahead and do that. Also, start preparing for these fall activities that you want to do. For instance, I know that my kids and I are going to want to do hay rides. When COVID hit, I think last year we went and did our first hay ride since COVID. I'm going to say this. My kids were able to go on to a hayride with their mask, and they did not have like any allergic reaction. So they didn't have any allergy flare-ups. And so I don't care if we look weird or not. This year we will be on a hayride with our mask again, because the fall already is going to come with the flu and the different things that's going to come from, all that. And I found that we did so much better. We did so much better with colds and sicknesses last year by wearing our masks, if no other time in the fall and the winter time, because remember, everybody's going to be sick, snotting, sneezing, coughing. I went somewhere. I don't even know where I was at this week. I mean, I've been so many places this week. It makes no sense. And when I say I'm tired, I mean, I am tired. I am tired. You understand me? But I went somewhere this week, and there was somebody that was just like coughing all the way in the air. And I was just so grateful that me and my kids were nowhere in that airspace. Because you ever seen like online or on Instagram or some type of social media where they show like when you cough, like they use like a purple dye or some type of color. And so when you cough, how it goes into the air and how far it goes. That's all I kept thinking. I kept thinking when I heard this person sneezing and coughing. Now, it could have been allergies. I'm not saying he or she had COVID. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when you hear somebody now cough or sneeze out in public, you just like cringe. You legit cringe. So I want us to get prepared for the fall. I love fall. Fall is one of my favorite seasons. Summer and fall are kind of neck to neck. So I kind of love the experience of going from summer to fall. And I'm getting ready, right? Getting ready, not just with decorations, which I will pull soon. Not just with going to Target or Hobby Lobby or these different places and experiencing these different things. Like, I can't wait to get out and do apple picking and, pumpkin picking and, haunted houses and just all these different elements. But again, if you see me and my family are out with our masks, please understand that if you don't want to wear your mask, God bless you, right? That's none of my business, and I'm not here to encourage you. I'm not trying to get you on team mask. I'm just telling you from a perspective of a parent who has had kids that prior to COVID have had issues because they have really bad asthma and really bad allergies. Those masks have been helpful in preventing less issues. When I first had my kids, when I had my daughter, she was born 6 weeks early. And in the midst of her being 6 weeks early, obviously her lungs were, having issues and different things. And so we were in the hospital. When I tell you, I could look at my daughter in her face, and she was like the most bubbliest kid, no matter how sick she was. She was always smiling every time she got sick. Like, she just was a bubbly child. She still is. And so when I could look at her and I could say, you know what, I could see we about to be hospitalized today. So I used to just keep a hospital bag in back of my car. And so some people are thinking like I'm being dramatic. I tell you what, if I could pull them records, I'm not being dramatic. We were in the hospital a lot in her first year. So when I had my son, he seemed to be fine for the first couple of months. And then when he hit one, he all of a sudden started to get sick with asthma and his allergies flaring, and he was hospitalized. He didn't even have a first birthday party because we rescheduled the birthday party 3 solid times, and he hospitalized 3 solid times to the point where we're just like, forget it. We just gonna celebrate with a little cake and keep it moving. So yeah, when you have kids who have these types of flares and they're just, whatever, like, to experience them not having that just because of a mask, like, we wearing them. So again, I'm just going to say, if you see me out in these streets and we're on a hayride or something where we're going to be outside, where we're going to be around certain elements, we're going to have our masks. Because again, I'd rather for my kids to experience what they're experiencing and also not have to feel sick later on. I'm okay with that. So we're going to be on whatever it is that we're doing outside, we're going to have our mask, and that's just what it's going to be. Because again, the fall and the winter does what it does. And let me just say, I have, when I was working at Penn, which is one of the hospitals here, there was never a time where I didn't see the Asian community. And this is not even a dig. This is a great thing. I've always seen the Asian communities wear masks in the fall and winter time. This was before the pandemic. This was before. I need y'all to understand. This was not when it was even just the thought of it coming. This was before all of that. In the fall and winter time, they always wear their mask. And I used to always see them thinking like, what in the world are they doing? And if I could go back, I'd be like, they were on it. They were spot on because they understood the assignment. In the fall and the winter time is when you get sick the most because people are sick and they're still going out in these streets. And I'm here to just protect. So that's my 5-second rant because that's what we're going to be doing. We are definitely going to have masks on for a lot of things when it comes to the fall and the winter time. So it is what it is. But the fall is a beautiful time. It's a time to see the leaves change and they fall off the trees, and it lets you know that winter is coming. But most importantly, it's just a great time for comfort food and movie watching and just all kinds of different activities that you don't get to do in the summertime. And it's a different change. It's a new season. Every new season is an opportunity to do better than you did the last season. Be grateful for the seasons that you're able to see, because if you're not seeing the seasons, that's mean you're not here. And, everybody talks about, being above ground is the blessing, and it really is. And a lot of people don't understand that until you experience someone passing away that's around you. But you realize how much more precious life is. And so to everyone who is listening and you're preparing and you're getting ready for the fall, yes, do that. Like, I don't understand people who have issues with people getting ready for the fall. For instance, yes, pumpkin, all things pumpkin are already out and it's August, right? And everybody's up in a roar. You have the option of not drinking coffee, pumpkin coffee, or you have the option of not eating anything pumpkin if you just want to wait until the first day of fall. Like, I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with you doing that. I don't know where I'm at with it. I haven't had anything pumpkin yet. I may, just if I'm in a place that has it, I may or may not have it. But I don't get worked up because people are putting out their fall decorations, because that's making them happy. Like, I think you need to understand, if you see people who are like extremely happy and they're in Target or Hobby Lobby or whatever store they're at, and they're gathering their items, that's because they're legitimately happy. It may be their favorite time of the year, right? It's just like people who are like Christmas people. I'm a Christmas person. So for me, I actually have a tree in my house that's decorated all year round. So what I'll end up doing is taking it from our mermaid and summer theme that we have right now with all the powder baby blues and the mermaid's tails and things that we have in our house. I'm going to take that stuff off and put it in our holiday box. And then I'm going to switch it over to sunflowers and fall. And I get excited about that because I'm genuinely excited about that. And people who are genuinely excited about the fall, for the people who are not, that's fine. I don't know if it is because I went to therapy, but I used to be that person, right? That had to say something about every little thing that somebody was doing that didn't cost me a thing. It didn't affect my breathing. It's not like what they're eating is making me fat, but just wanting that just to complain. And what are you complaining for? Why are you upset that somebody else is in their home doing what's best for them that they didn't ask you to participate in? Right? And even if they asked you to participate in it and you didn't want to, you had the option of saying no. So we're going to need to just stop. This complaining thing comes from an inside situation. This comes from an inside situation. If people lined up the pumpkins into their houses early, it's none of my business. I don't care, because I don't have to put them pumpkins out when they start to smell and go rotten. That's none of my concern. Stop getting worked up about people. Stop being upset that people are happy about a holiday. If you choose to celebrate fall when fall finally hits, that's you. If somebody is right now deciding to put their fall decorations up, that's between them and their Jesus, right? That's between them. Why? I'm telling you, when you have that such deep-seated complaint in your spirit, it's because it's an inside situation. For instance, on my personal pages on Facebook, I like to post when it's a national holiday. I used to have certain people, and they know who they are, whether they're listening to or not. If I said it was National Cocoa Day, they would have to tell everybody about how they don't like cocoa. No one asked you if you liked cocoa. If it's National Cocoa Day and you like cocoa, this is a day for you to go ahead and grab yourself a good cocoa. Tell us your favorite cocoa flavor. Maybe there's a cocoa that we're not aware about, right? There's a hot chocolate that we're not aware about. Let us know. Let us know where it is. Let us know the flavor and where we can get it, right? That's your day. If you are not that's not your day, Wait, there's plenty of national holidays. Your day will come. And when your day comes, let us know how great of a day it is that you expect to have because of this day coming. Let's just do that. But instead, we have, I don't like cocoa. Cocoa's not my favorite. I don't even drink it. That's so nasty. Why are you shining that type of a negative light? Like, what if that of telling us that you don't like something is uplifting to the situation, to the fact that it's a national day where people want to celebrate because they like hot cocoa, right? People are excited about, oh, today's hot cocoa. I'm going to go out of my way because I can have cocoa anytime I want to, right? But today is National Hot Cocoa Day, so I'm going to go out of my way to make sure I have a great cup of hot cocoa. And then here you come with the, I don't drink that. I don't like that. That's nasty. And everybody's just knowing that something about you is just off in a real way. You only reveal who you are. This is not the time on National Hot Cocoa Day to come and tell us about how you don't drink it. That's something you could have kept to yourself, between you or your spouse, or just between you and Jesus. That is not something that you need to bring up to the masses, right? And again, some people just want to talk. I used to make a comment like on like different forums that would ask different questions. And I used to comment like my opinion, because that's what it was. They asked the question, you give an opinion. But I stopped. And I stopped because I would make my opinion. It would be people that I knew wasn't even following the forum. That, you know how when you post on Facebook, sometimes it'll say so-and-so commented on so-and-so's whatever. And it could be somebody's page, right? Somebody else's page. Meaning I made a comment on somebody else's page. Somebody who is my friend can see that I commented on somebody else's page. And then that person feels the need to comment underneath my comment. I had to stop that, because it's like, you can't even be in a forum and just like, you just want to bug out and you just want to have an opinion and just want to talk and bust it up. And it'd be people that I'm like, I didn't even really want your opinion. I get that you're going to give it because it's a public forum. I'm not against that. It's just like, I had to take a step back. So I don't really comment anymore on a lot of those things, because it just be the same folk, right? So I just want us to take in consideration, there's going to be so many national holidays. There's so many of them all the time, like all the time, legit, all the time. Every single day there's a new one. And with that being said, you might be wondering, well, now that you didn't say there's so many national holidays, what is today's? Today is National Dog Day. Today is National Web Mistress Day. Today is also National Women Equality Day, National Got Checked Day, and National Cherry Popsicle Day. Listen, Cherry Popsicle Day is the joint. Like, when you think about cherry popsicles are it for me. Now, maybe you're like, I'm not, I'm anti cherry popsicles, whatever the case may be. But yeah, it is that. And National Got Checked Day. I had to look this one up because I'm like, So National Got Checked Day is about routine breast cancer screenings and about using them to help save a life. So if you have not had a mammogram and you are at the mammogram age, I need you to go ahead and do that. If you are not at the mammogram age, but you have a history of women in your family who have had breast cancer, I want you to go get checked. One of these things that I love about national holidays is that, yes, they're celebratory. Like, yeah, I might go and get me a cherry popsicle because now I know it's cherry popsicle day, right? So you're happy about those things. But a lot of times it brings awareness. And so if something like Get Checked Day is telling you or reminding you, if you have a woman in your life, if you are a woman and you have not had a mammogram and you are of mammogram age, if you have had a history of breast cancer in your family, you need to talk to your doctor about getting one regardless of your age. If a day like that is bringing awareness, I'm here for that. There's no reason to not celebrate that. And I want everyone under the sound of my voice who is a woman or has a woman in your life, which means that's all of us, right? All of us has some woman in our life. I want you to encourage them to get checked. Ask them, have they gotten checked? Because it's important. So things like this is a way to inform. This is a way to say, hey, let's be aware of our bodies. Let's take care of ourselves. And along those lines with getting checked for breast cancer, I also want y'all to go ahead and get back to getting to them doctors and getting them checkups. Some of y'all been missing and been blaming the pandemic. Put a mask on and go to your doctor and get checked. Let me tell you how your body could have changed during the pandemic. You need to know that. And there's no other way to know that outside of going to get a doctor's checkup. You should have your teeth checked. You need to be seeing your dentist regularly every 6 months. You need to be at your your gynecologist for our ladies, getting your lady parts checked, because again, you need to know what's going on. You need to be seeing your family doctor. And if they tell you to get other things checked and looked at, or to go see somebody about, go see somebody. And also, don't neglect your eyes. Having your eyes checked can also be another way to screen other health concerns that you may or may not be aware of. Please go get checked altogether, because it's important as we start a new season that you don't go into the new year not knowing where you stand. This is your body. You only get one. So you don't get opportunities to correct and fix things. You might be in a situation where it could be already quote unquote too late. So I want you to get checked. I want you to stay healthy. I want you to be excited about the fall if you choose to be excited about the fall. And if you're not, that's okay. Just don't rain on someone else's fall parade, okay? And when these national holidays come up and it's cherry popsicle day and you're a great popsicle person, just be grateful for when your great popsicle day comes, and then you can celebrate. Or just go grab yourself a great popsicle on cherry popsicle day and enjoy, because you don't have to bring somebody else down because you don't like something. And we don't all need to hear it. I promise you. I speak as a delegate for the human race. We do not need to know that you don't like hot cocoa on hot cocoa day. It does nothing for us. We don't need to start a debate about hot cocoa being better than this. Just do what's best for you, and let people who enjoy hot cocoa on hot cocoa day, let them have their moment. Right? And that's because you probably need to do a little inner check about the things that's going on with you, because if you have to find a reason to make sure other people know how displeased you are about something such as a hot cocoa day, there's probably larger things going on the inside, and you need to go see somebody about that. Okay? So with that being said, I want you to have the most amazing weekend. It is not, I kept telling myself that it was Labor Day weekend, but it is not. It is not at all. Nowhere near. Labor Day is actually next week, I believe. No, not even next week, the week after. So we got almost 2 weeks to Labor Day. I am going on break. This was your bonus episode. I will be back September the 9th. That is Friday, September the 9th. So basically, it almost bought you an extra week, but you got an extra episode out of it. And we will be back on September the 9th. We have the CEO of Temper. If you've never heard of Temper is a mint that helps you with intermittent fasting. So if you have ever been interested in doing that, you're not sure what are the benefits or the proper way to handle it or the proper way to do it, we have him with us. That's Dalton of Temper. You can find them on Use Temper, so USETEMPER. He is going to be with us on September the 9th. The episode is already ready to go. I'm so excited for it. So we are having some great conversations with some amazing people, and I want you to just to have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, because again, life is always about having some fun. And because today is National Cherry Popsicle Day, I happen to have a cherry pop cocktail recipe that I will put in the link of the show notes for you to make. You just need cherry vodka, sour mix, some orange juice, and you can make yourself a cherry pop cocktail. So that's the way to adult a cherry popsicle day and make it something that you can enjoy. Click on the link and it'll give you the recipe information so that you can gather your ingredients and make it. And that is our drink of the day. It's called the cherry pop cocktail, and it's so befitting on cherry popsicle day. So have a great weekend. I hope that your kids are doing well with their adjustments. Some kids have already been in school. Shout out to you parents. You've already in your euphoria. I'm going to go into that on Monday because I dropped the kids off on Monday, and it is what it is. They only have a half a day. And so I'm going to make sure I stay close by at a nice coffee shop. I'm going to go to a local coffee shop near the kids' school, because I want to try out spots in that area. And it doesn't make sense for me to come home. I can just work from anywhere, right? Isn't that the blessing when you can work from anywhere? It is. So with that being said, have a great day. Have a great weekend. Have a great cherry popsicle if that's your choice, or a cherry pop cocktail. But if you don't like it, please don't mess anybody else's day in having their ability to enjoy their cherry pop, right? Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And we will see you in 2 weeks. I will miss all of you. Make sure you stay healthy, get checked, and make sure you check on others.
Thank you as always for joining me, and I know that even in the deepest or joyful conversations that there's something we can learn and apply. Until next time, I hope that you are doing better. If not, we will be back to talk some more and handle it. Peace to you and yours. Stay grounded.